When I first picked up this game, I actually made a warrior, and I played as a dwarf nobleman and went through that. And you actually start off in the house of Aldukin as one of the sons. And they've mentioned 3 sons. There was Tyrion and Balin, and then another son. And basically what happened was...
Thief! Who would dare take from the memories? Warden, I'm outraged. A thief in the Shaperate. What have we been reduced to?
Did you get a good look at him?
I did. He was bald, with the most garish brand across his head. Almost like he took pride in being castless. Imagine. No offense, Warden. He's probably in the slums somewhere. As if he'd find a buyer for a stolen tome in Dust Town. They couldn't know the value.
So basically when you play as the noble side of the dwarf, you end up getting framed for the murder of Tyrion by Balin. You end up getting promoted to, it's like commander of the military, commander of the guard sort of thing, and you are basically in line to become king once Indrin, the current king, dies. And Tyrion, he's hot-headed, that sort of thing, but otherwise he's, a decent guy. Balin, however, who pretends to be friend to you, sets all this up and ends up betraying you. You end up traveling into the deep roads for some sort of quest, and you find your brother's corpse there, and you try to figure out, what's going on, and then all of a sudden Balin and the king show up, and then you're standing over the dead body, and they're like, see, look, he killed him, and then you have some party members with you, and they all say the same thing. Even though you clearly didn't, they end up lying and getting you tossed into jail. And while you're in jail, Balin is wanting to have you just downright executed, killed, and that's it. But Lord Harrowmont decides to plead for you, and he says, send him to the surface, exile him basically, and have that be that. So Lord Harrowmont saves your life, sends you to the surface, and I'm sorry, not to the surface. You get banished to the deep tunnels, the deep roads, to die by Darkspawn hand. I think he pleaded for you to go to the surface, but they decide to send you to your death basically instead. You run into Duncan there, and Duncan takes you up to be a Grey Warden. And, I guess eventually full circle comes back, and here you are. But anyway, that's why I don't want to side with Balin, because he did betray his brother, he did kill him, and he should not be king in any right sense. And Harrowmont did better off anyway, because he actually tried to help you. I believe he's got a better political side to it, better mind for it to, keep Orzammar all nice and dandy.
Were you looking for a particular volume? Not that I could really help. I don't know the libraries very well. I'm just doing some research.
What kind of research?
I was looking for something about the Orton Tig. It was lost during the last blight, and there aren't many records left. They were a noble house once, descended from the Paragon Orton, who composed the grand epic of the Seven Brothers and the Ortonic Symphony. My mother's family believes they were descended from Kalana Orton, who was training in Orzammar when the Tig fell. I'm even named for the house, Orta. Unfortunately, any records would be buried in the Tig's ruins, somewhere in the deep roads.
Well, it just so happens I'm a Grey Warden, and I am not afraid of the deep roads.
A Grey Warden? Mother always said that if anyone could find the Tig, it was the Wardens. I hear Prince Balin and Lord Harrowmont have both been sending out small teams these days. Yes, if you can find the Tig in any records, that could do it. That could prove I'm a noble. If you could. Maybe now that you're looking. It's almost too much to hope.
So all these side quests you end up running into later on anyway, so it ends up working out. But yeah, so Balin is a traitor. I had a bad feeling out about him to begin with, and then I actually ended up doing some research at some point, and that's what kind of brought it all to, like, oh yeah, he was the one who did all this. So I end up joining up with Harrowmont, and that's just what I'm going to do again, because it's fun. He's a pretty interesting character.
When I last walked this hall, Endrin was king and Orzammar was at peace. The memories often speak of the swiftness with which change overtakes us. But it is different to see it firsthand. I apologize, Warden. I should not burden a stranger with such thoughts. I am Zebor, the Shaper of Memories.
And how do you know who I am? Yeah, no, I'm not going to ask that one. He clearly knows who I am. I mean, word of the castless exile Brand coming back as a Grey Warden, you're gonna hear things. So what in the world's the Shaper of Memories? And this is where you get the insight.
The Shaperate guards Orzamar's knowledge. We have preserved in Lyrium all of the records of Dwarven history. The memories record all. They are how we know to which family a child owes life, how we trace lost Tigers. They ensure we forget nothing of our past, good or bad.
So, first things first, that one dude wants to open a chantry here.
That is an odd request.
He's an odd person.
Grown so fond of the Surfacer's ways in your brief absence?
I'm actually here on behalf of Brother Burkle, a cleric from Redcliffe.
I thought so. This is not the first time he's made this plea. My answer to Brother Burkle hasn't changed. So I ask you the same. On what basis would you have me insult the ancestors and overturn 2,000 years of tradition?
Because the Chantry's charities could greatly aid Orzammar.
What sort of charities do you mean?
The Chantry will educate children of all castes and care for widows and orphans.
Traditionally, that is their extended family's responsibility, but sometimes people fall through the cracks. Very well, he may hold a prayer meeting as he requested, if not build a new temple to his god. At least the words would come from one of our own. Now, is there anything more?
Yes, tell me some of Orzammar's history.
Perhaps the books here can make up for the lack of attention you paid your elders. We were a great empire once, and our land stretched through the deep roads. Kal Shirak was capital then, but we lost too many battles. We lost our golems, and we lost our territory. Now the Empire is simply ruined tunnels filled with darkspawn.
And how did you lose your golems?
The Paragon Caridon, a smith of unsurpassed genius, invented the golems. For years they were our weapon against the darkspawn. One golem is worth a dozen dwarves in battle, but Caridon's Tig is far into the deep roads. When it fell, we lost his secret to creating golems. There are books about it along these walls if you would read more.
And what's a Tig?
They are to us what a colony is to surfacers.
Alright, that was simple. Where is Kal Shirak?
At the other side of the old empire. During the last blight, the kings of Orzammar knew they couldn't hold everything. They sealed the deep roads, abandoning everyone still trapped in far-flung settlements. It was the only way to survive. Kal Shirak is the only other city to outlast the blight. We only rediscovered them recently, and they still haven't forgiven us.
And alright, enough history. Let's talk a basic Orzammar.
I will settle your mind if I can, Warden.
Yeah, sure, we'll just get some answers. What's the difference between Paragon and Ancestor?
All dwarves who die return to the stone as ancestors, to guide their families forever. But only one every few generations rises to Paragon. A Paragon is a dwarf whose accomplishments change Orzammar so much that the Assembly recognizes they've been born blessed. They are venerated as living ancestors and found a new noble house forever bearing their name.
There you go. That's what a Paragon is. And are there any Paragons in Orzammar now? Currently, no. The most recent one was Branka, and she disappeared into the deep roads.
There is one Paragon of this generation, a woman named Branka. She was born a smith, but her inventions caught the Assembly's eye. Before she had seen 20 years, she created a smokeless coal. It could burn in a cave without vents and no one would choke from it. It earned her Paragon status.
And where is she now?
She went into the deep roads 2 years ago seeking out secrets of the ancient smiths. She never returned.
And how did the caste system come to be?
According to our legends, 7 brothers founded our empire. The youngest, Bloadlik, was the wisest and was chosen king. His children formed the noble caste. The eldest, Giachet, trained his sons to defend their king. They became the warrior caste. Shotgyar founded the artisans. Orzatyar forged our first swords. It was Orzammar who dug the mines that became our city's foundations. The twins Koapar and Noct both founded trading houses, but Noct was wounded in battle. On his recovery, he swore to serve his brother's sons.
And what about the Casteless?
The casteless descend from criminals and those repudiated by their own families, or who chose to go to the surface and live by human laws. They have no ancestors to guide them and no families to claim them. They should not have been born. Their parents defied their shame and brought cursed children into the world. It's better they die young.
And is that what should have happened to me?
I'm sorry. I can speak with you as a warden, but I cannot discuss your belief that you have previously been to Orzammar. Your presence here was not recorded in the memories. You did not exist.
So, because I was casteless, I was not recorded in these memories. So only those of castes, I guess, get recorded.
It shall be done.
Which is both interesting and kind of sad to think about, because then you realize that so many people just kind of, you know, go through and live and die, and they never amount to anything.
News of the hour.
So, how is it the dwarves have a king?
Don't remember if there was a quest in here. There's the throne room. That is important.
As you say.
Some free loot here and there. Oh, heck yeah. Big chest. With love letters. Which I can never figure out which ones are the new ones anyway, so.
More enemies ahead! Very well.
Ow, what knocked me over? Oh, that guy with the giant hammer, probably.
Away with you!
We must strike.
Run while you can!
As you say.
What's going on? By the ancestors. Good on you, Warden. You caught them in the act. I guess desperate times drive people to strange things.
Yeah, you could say that. Too bad you don't give me a reward or anything. But I suppose XP and free cash is nice.
Very well. Legion of the Dead Warriors secretly wear Prince Balin's colors. Our prince... News of the
Anything in Lord Haramont's estate? So that one guy was screaming that Legion of the Dead, who we'll find out are
I shall do it.
they're basically dwarves who host their own funeral before they die, to go into the deep roads and basically join this this colony, a gang, to fight down there. That's where they end up living their lives, and I believe they think it's better. I don't really remember all the details, but I thought it was interesting, especially because they decide to host their own funerals while they're alive. And that's just bizarre. Just really, really bizarre.
As you say.
Also, I love how there are these, like, giant mallets and hammers and things like that, and I don't know if a dwarf could even lift one. I mean, I suppose that they do have for lack of a better term, inhuman strength.
Shall be
but-
done.
Oh, this is grand. The noble houses do love their luxuries, don't they?
Nug Wrangler Bowermore. Where am I going? I think I'm going this way.
So, I've been hearing rumors that a certain wine merchant is falling behind on his payments.
I can't imagine what you mean. I pay my expenses.
What about the expenses your good friend Jarvia incurs when providing your protection? It's not easy ensuring nothing bad happens, that no one decides to just burn everything in your store.
My store! Please, I don't have much. Business isn't good. People are scared. Tell Jarvia I'll get her money.
Jarvia is not happy with your promises, old man. Now let's go inside and see what you've been holding back.
I shall do.
I think I'll follow them.
This is all I have right now. I could get more if I sell something.
Well, well, looks like we have a visitor. Friend of yours?
Is there a problem here, friend? Are these men threatening you?
Please, don't get involved with this. You don't know what they're like.
Then allow me to make some introductions. These are dangerous times in Orzammar, stranger. Lucky us, the merciful Jarvia is offering protection from the chaos. You're wearing some fancy stuff there. Might make you a target. So
You're
if
ugly.
you want the Carta's guarantee of safety, it's yours for the reasonable price of 10 gold sovereigns. Or I can't say what might happen.
Did you say Jarvia was running the Carta?
And what the sod do you know about? Hey, you're the Duster, the one who acts Barat.
That's
Jarvia's
me.
been looking for you, and I bet she'd rather deal with you herself. Enjoy your last night alive, Duster.
Ancestors, bless you for saving my poor store. I don't know how to express my gratitude.
So Jarvia runs the Carta. Know anything about that? This part is all new to me. I think I accidentally missed this whole conversation and that guy was probably dead. So, that's a thing.
She's a monster, plain and simple. The Carta used to prey only on their own kind, but since Jarvia stepped in, they even dare the upper city. Whoever takes the throne had better root out the whole nest of them. That Carta's worse than a pack of cave rats.
Well, what do you have for
I'm
sale?
showing you the lowest prices I can afford, I assure you.
I'll take that. And all 3 of those. And all 3 of those. And what else do you have? I'll take all 7 elf root, because health potions. And all 3 health poultices, and all 4 lower health poultices. And even those 2. There you go. Wow. There you go. Alright, so you stay safe. Lock
Very
your
well.
door.